Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctor's Nutrition. They're located on Cowan Lorraine Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. We do this show every Monday morning. It is a live call-in show in which we have a topic that we talk about and invite you to call in and ask questions regarding that topic. Or if you have any other questions regarding your health, please feel free to call in and ask the question, because that's what this show is all about, is helping you live a healthier lifestyle. And our phone lines are 896-0713 or toll free at 800-349-0713. Now, actually, I kind of did a little research and found out that September is healthy health for our skin, our bodies, whatever is the month for that.
Really?
Yes. I didn't know we had one.
Who knew?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Actually, this month was something to do with aging and skin, which is why our office manager came up with this topic.
Okay. Well, that's what we're talking about. Aging healthily and your skin. Your skin being the biggest organ of the body, which I never considered it an organ until these guys came along.
Yeah. It's important to keep it healthy.
That's right.
For sure.
Because, I mean, the older we get, the more important it is to take care of our bodies so we can age healthily. There are so many different ways that we can do it that are important. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, those of us that are getting up there in our aging, are getting more mature.
More mature. I like that.
Mature.
Yeah, we don't age. We mature.
Not saying so much the wiser, but we're getting more mature. So.
Right. We're working on the wiser part. But,
Exactly. But I mean, and I kind of wrote down a list here of some things you can do to maintain your health as you age, and one of them was keep moving.
Yes, always keep moving.
Exercising.
Because, of course, one of the problems people have that they get aging is arthritis. And one of the best things you can do is move. I mean, you got to keep moving. You got to stay active. So we tell everybody, keep active, keep moving. If you do have some arthritis, we have something great called Pernimax, and take that so that you can keep moving. So if you hurt, find something to make it stop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I always say. There's things that we can do. We have a lot of anti-inflammatory things. We have a lot of things that you can take that definitely keeps, I mean, the Perna itself keeps down further degeneration. So it doesn't just help arthritis, it keeps it from getting worse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And of course, another thing, this goes all the way back to our parents when they always told you to be sure you eat your fruits and vegetables, but be sure you eat right.
Well, you know, that's probably a bigger key, really, than anything. You know, and it's when you look at, you know, we talk about steps that you go through to age gracefully. Let's say that. You know, one is checking your metabolic health. You know, we do a lot of lab work, and we kind of focus on, you know, you have to know what's going on before you start trying to do something. And the way you do that is some lab work to find out, you know, and one of the biggies nowadays, I mean, the research over the past 30, 40 years is just overwhelming on our metabolic health. Notice it's not just that you might look good because you put on a little makeup or something. It's metabolically. How does your body function metabolically? And that goes into the insulin resistance, the prediabetes, the diabetes, or any other chronic problem you might have. If you've got a chronic GI problem or gut problem, you know, fix those problems. But check out the issues of how you handle sugar. That's a biggie. I know we kind of talk about that
Sugar
one a lot.
is very aging.
It's extraordinarily, it's very inflammatory, pro-inflammatory. So you've got that to deal with, and then you want to make sure that you know where you're starting from, because if you've got that insulin resistance, you've got that prediabetes, then you need to get that fixed, or you're not going to age very well at all, simply because the inflammation. And it breaks down the healing process, and we've got to heal and we've got to recover. So that's probably one of the biggies that we talk about a lot. And it, you know, knowing your status of your vitamins, minerals, fats, etc. You know, we talk. You've heard us talk about a lot of times. You know, our normal panels. A lot of times we'll check you, especially your B vitamins like B12, folate. Those are two biggies. If you're off on those, well, you know, you're off on the rest of them too.
Right, the brain will age.
Right, the brain age is bad. And then vitamin D. D is a steroid. It's got a bad name calling it vitamin D because everybody thinks, it's just vitamin D. Actually, it's a steroid hormone. Who thought, right? We know that it controls over 1,000 different genes. You got to have that working or you're going to have some problems, no doubt about it. And then checking your fat status. And when we say the fats, We're talking about the omega-3s versus the omega-6s. Everybody tells me, oh, I'll take an omega-3. Yeah, but how much omega-6 do you get? And what is your ratio? That's the big issue, and because we see so much disturbance in that nowadays. And we've got to have those omega-3s to keep the brain happy and to keep everything else functioning.
And the diet is real high in omega-6. So all your vegetable oils and things like that are out there always have a lot of omega-6s. Omega-3 is very deficient. And if you read any book on aging and skin health and wrinkles and how to prevent them, they always say you want your omega-3s.
Right.
So omega-3s are either the best omega-3s are your fish oil or your krill oil. You know, flax, they don't have the EPA and DHA. I mean, it's still better than nothing. So, you know, some people do flax, but I think it's better to do the fish oil or the krill oil.
Right. And yeah, now that you mentioned that, when you talk about that flax oil, a lot of people think, whoa, it's got omega-3s. Yeah, it does. Can your liver actually convert those omega-3s, the base omega-3s, into EPA and DHA, which are the two biggies you got to have? You'd be surprised to know that about 1.8% is the average production of EPA, DHA from your omega-3s that you get, like in flax.
Like flax, yeah.
Now
flax is really good for the fiber.
Very good.
Now, fiber is a different story. I tell people, you know, with flax oil, yeah, you grind it though. If you take it whole, it goes straight through you. You really don't do you any good. You don't get anything out of it, and it goes straight through you.
Right.
But if you grind fresh flax seeds and put them on things, you get really good fiber. I don't think it's the best source of the omega-3. Yeah, you get a tiny bit, but like he said, most people can't convert it. So fish oil or krill oil if you're trying to get your omega-3s.
Right.
Or eat fatty fish, but you got to do it every day, and not many people do that.
And what most people don't realize is years and years and years ago, like when I was a kid, a long time ago, if we ate pig or cow that was on grass, that pig and cow made their own omega-3. So that fat that you consumed from that pig and cow had omega-3s in it because their liver converted it to omega-3s, and therefore we got some that way. Nowadays, factory farms, you don't get it. They fatten them up on corn, omega-6. I gotta get in.
A lot of omega-6 and not enough omega-3.
Right.
And seriously, look at any book on wrinkles. They all talk about omega-3. So it is very, very important. And everybody we've ever done an omega check on, which is a blood test that you can actually check your status on your omega-3, omega-6. We've never had anybody that didn't supplement have enough omega-3.
Right.
So.
All right, 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're talking about healthy, aging healthily. We're trying to help you get there. We're all trying to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713 if you have a question regarding our topic of the day, or if you have a question regarding anything about your health, call in and just pass the question along to our producer and they'll pass it along to us. Another great thing, the important thing, get your sleep.
Yes.
I mean, how important is sleep when it comes to staying, healthy, aging healthily?
Well, when you think about sleep, basically, that's the only time our body heals, is when we're sleeping. When we're up and active during the day, the body's just trying to survive and get through the day. Literally. Okay, so at night when we rest and we lay down and we go to sleep and we have to get into a deep sleep, because they found that that's when even the central nervous system does its housekeeping. It cleans up things, a lot of the debris that we accumulate during the day from oxidation and so on and so forth. It keeps the brain functioning, but at night when you sleep, that's when we get rid of it. So if you don't sleep well, you're going to age pitifully.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference in brain function.
It does.
And everybody knows dementia's on the rise, and so as people age, that's one of the big concerns people have. And so we talk about aging healthy, you want to keep that brain healthy. So you definitely want to get your sleep, because they've definitely linked sleep deprivation to brain deterioration. So it does make a big difference.
No doubt.
I have my friend has a Fitbit that measures her sleep patterns.
Yes.
There is so many.
She'll show it to me she'll send it to me every day. She said, "This is how I did last night." Everything as far as and it shows the REM and when you wake up, when you're in deep sleep, and all that.
There is so many gadgets nowadays. You can actually track all that. So that's the good thing is there are things that you can do that really tells you what's going on.
And they're really a good idea because you think, well, gee, I slept okay. Yeah, but when you put on something like that Fitbit he was talking about, you'll know. And it'll tell on like, geez, old Pete, I didn't realize I wasn't getting into a deep sleep. And we see this all the time, people that don't have, or when they get those devices, they find out like, ooh, I'm not sleeping that well after all.
That's like when people don't sleep and they say, oh, you look tired today, and they don't look good. They don't feel good usually either.
Exactly.
So it does make a difference to get really good sleep.
This is true. This is true.
Very true.
Yep.
Another thing they suggest, be social.
They do find that people that are more social do live longer.
Yeah.
And people that are social, they just tend to be a little happier. So that's the thing, is surround yourself with people that are positive as well.
Right.
You don't want negativity dragging you down. That all makes a difference. Your mindset does play a big role in aging and health.
Yeah, you want to stay away from toxic people, toxic things.
Yep.
And, people are right in there. Some of them are very toxic. So just kind of stay away from them and avoid them at all costs if you can. And I think you do much better. The science is kind of showing us this,
Yeah.
It really is.
Question, what oil helps for Lyme in the brain and Parkinson?
Actually, your omega-3 helps in the brain with any disorder.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a specific oil for the brain for Lyme, but you definitely want your omega-3s. With Parkinson's, Parkinson's are a lot of stuff you need, and with Lyme, there's a lot you need. I always say there's so many things that go along with both of those conditions that doing the lab work and getting an optimal health makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Because we talk about aging, and with the first thing you got to do when you're trying to prevent aging is you want to get healthy. And if you're not healthy, that's the first step. Because then once you're healthy,
Back to step one.
Then once you're healthy, then there is so much anti-aging stuff out there. There really is. I mean, there is, when you really look at anti-aging, I mean, there's resveratrol, there's NMN, there's Fisetin, which Fisetin is something that you take even like 2 to 3 days out of the month that gets rid of the bad cells, and it makes a big difference. It's all in the anti-aging medicine. Now, anti-aging medicine has gotten huge, but we always say you got to get healthy first, but then you can actually, if you're healthy and you just want the aging part, we got things for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Another suggestion, here's another question. What omega is the best?
Well, your omega-3 is the one you got to have, because omega-6s come along, gosh, they're everywhere.
Everybody gets omega-6.
Yeah, you don't have to worry too much about that. But the omega-3s are the hard one to get, and when you go to on the side of every bottle, there's a little thing called supplement facts, okay? And it's going to tell you not just how much fish oil it has or something like that. It's going to tell you how much EPA, which is eicosapentaenoic acid, and the DHA, or the docosahexaenoic acid. And those two guys are the hard part to get in your diet. Now, you want the most you possibly can get. The best sources are the small fish, sardines, things like that. Those are the best. Krill is almost microscopic, but those are the best. Yeah, those are plankton, right? Those are the best sources of the omegas to get from. A lot of, I've had people come in and ask me for salmon oil. They read some guru somewhere said, "Oh, salmon oil." That's a big fish. You don't want it. I mean, seriously, that's not where you want to get your stuff, because a big fish has had a lot of time to accumulate a lot of nasty stuff that's in our environment that corporate America has dumped on us for eons of time.
Unless it's processed correctly, which our fish oil that we sell, our high strength omega-3, it's distilled.
Yeah.
It's distilled to remove the contaminants, but it does come mostly from small fish too. But it does have some big fish in it, but it is distilled. So once it's distilled, it removes the contaminants, and that does make a difference, because you can get heavy metals from big fish. But the little fish have less heavy metals anyway, so eating those are actually really good. And sardines are just kind of easy to eat. Now, another omega that's good, now the best I would have to say is omega-3, just like he said, because that's the best, because it's what's deficient in our diets the most. 9 is olive oil. It's easy to get. Olive oil is a really good omega-9. So people get 9 because a lot of people do use olive oil.
Don't cook with it.
But don't cook over like 325 is actually the cutoff point. I don't go over like
310.
I don't go over like 275 actually when I cook with.
They say at about 310 you can start. And the bad thing, what happens with it is you start making some really nasty oil out of them.
You start getting some really bad things that will make you age instead of being anti-aging. So use olive oil on a lot of cold things. Use it on your salads. Use it on your salad dressings, things like that. Yeah, dress on vegetables after it's cooked. But don't cook too high with it. And that's what most people do.
Yeah.
Okay. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We're talking about aging healthily this morning. One of the things is, I'll just mention this, keep learning. I mean, keep that mind active.
That makes a big difference.
Keep the brain going.
That is definitely anti-aging, to keep your mind going. And it's never, you're never too old to learn.
No.
And people think, oh, well, I'm too old, I ain't gonna do that anymore, or I'm not gonna learn anything, or I'm not gonna, you gotta do something. Just watching TV doesn't always do it.
Nope.
But doing puzzles or learning or reading a book or taking classes. Some people go back to school.
Yeah.
I was talking to a lady not long ago, and she was in her 80s, and she was taking some classes at the junior college.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
All right, it's 20 minutes after, it's 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take our final break here and come back with our final segment and give you this week's special in just a moment. Excuse me. Welcome back to our final segment here at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We have time for a few more questions. But first of all, let's go ahead and look at what this week's special is.
Yeah, it's hyaluronic acid. Now, everybody wants to know, what in the world is hyaluronic acid? Well, it's the glue that holds us together. You know, it's what holds everything together in our body. It really is.
And you get hyaluronic acid from collagen.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to do the powders. They don't want to have to mix it up every day. So hyaluronic acid's a way of getting one of the active ingredients in collagen without having to take the collagen powders. And so the hyaluronic acid is just great for joints, but it's great also for skin. And so when you talk about healthy skin and aging skin, hyaluronic acid is great. There's even topical hyaluronic acid you can get to put on your face. And that's another thing with skin health. Moisturize. Make sure you keep, and don't wait until it's too late. Once you have really deep wrinkles, it's really hard to reverse that. If you start young, and you can't be too young. Actually, you can be a teenager and start having a good regimen to keep your skin looking and healthy. And keep moisturized, because you want to keep moisture in that skin, because that's important. And one way to do it is also the omega-3s. And drink enough water. I can't say that enough. Drink enough water. So many people are dehydrated, and that affects your skin, aging, everything. Overall health.
That's something we see every day. You know, folks come in and I said, well, it looks like you're dehydrated on your, well, yeah, I don't drink much water.
Okay, I mean, time to start.
this is when you start, and especially if you're starting to think about this anti-aging thing and the skin, got to have it.
Yep.
No, definitely, and that's one of the things we needed to talk about as well, is the importance of, as we age, keep your skin healthy. It's the largest organ of the body.
Yes.
Keep your skin healthy.
Yeah.
And like you said, drinking a lot of water, some moisture, a good moisturizer. I mean, every morning after I shave, I put.
Oh, definitely.
And just a tip for people putting moisturizer on their face: make sure you put it on your neck and the back of your hands. That's the two areas that wrinkle, and if people have not been moisturized in those areas, your face might not be as wrinkled, but your neck and your hands will show it. So always put it on your neck and the back of your hands.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll put it here, rub it down here, over my hands, up my arms.
Yep. And it's good to moisturize the whole body.
On my head.
But everybody uses a special moisturizer usually for their face. And I always tell them, make sure you include that neck and the back of your hands with the heavier moisturizer that you use for your face.
Yeah, there's no doubt that as we age, the skin thins. You've seen, I know you've talked about, those old people and their skin gets so thin and so on. And that's a fact. That's why something like that hyaluronic acid, which kind of holds it together, binds it together. That's why the collagens are so good. A lot of people ask me, is collagen worth taking? Well, heck yeah, it's worth taking. You know, used to, a long time ago, we got a lot of that in our diet and so on. Now we don't.
Question, is it more beneficial to take hyaluronic acid by mouth or use it externally?
Both.
Both?
I would say both, because they're just different. One hydrates externally, but what's inside does make the biggest difference, because you could put moisturizer every day, but if your insides are unhealthy, I think then you really, moisturizer isn't going to work as well. So if you have to say one over the other, I would say internal first, but I think both are important and both are really good.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would do both.
Yeah, when you take it internally, it's going everywhere. When you
Right.
put it on externally, you're just putting it on special places.
Right.
Like face.
And other nutrients that actually help the skin, alpha-lipoic acid.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another really big one for skin health. And it is a antioxidant, both water and fat soluble. And it also helps blood sugar control, so that's a plus. So the alpha-lipoic is really good. You definitely want, like we've mentioned, omega-3s multiple times. You want your hyaluronic acid. There are so many things for the skin that can actually be healthy to take.
Yeah.
How about keeping our eyes healthy? That's another thing.
Actually, well, eyes, that's a whole nother show.
Is it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but
We'll have to find an eye awareness month. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
well, there may be one, I'm sure.
But antioxidants are good both for eyes, for skin, for anti-aging. When you start looking, we live in a world that has a lot of oxidative stress. So oxidative stress needs antioxidants. And so the antioxidants, and there are tons of antioxidants. I mean, there are curcumins, and we mentioned resveratrol earlier, and you have your green tea extracts. You have, all that's antioxidants. So there are so many antioxidants that you can take. And also when it comes to aging, and we've had whole shows on this, keeping the mitochondria healthy is really important in aging, because aging is a slowdown of the mitochondria. And so the more the mitochondria slows down, the more energy that the body does not produce, because the mitochondria is important in producing cellular energy. So there are things specifically for mitochondrial health, like the NMN that we mentioned. And our red light therapy. The red light therapy, we've done whole shows on it, but the red light therapy plays a really big role in keeping mitochondrial healthy. So it's not just about the skin, and it does help the skin. There's a lot of research on skin health and red light therapy. But at the same time, it helps the mitochondria. So it is very anti-aging as a whole. So things like that. If you really want to get into anti-aging, we got a lot of stuff there that you can come talk to us about it.
And the B vitamins, specifically niacin, is one of the biggies. And of course the NMN, that's a niacin derivative. But just taking niacin by itself, just taking the base vitamins by itself.
And we have a new product called NAD Boost, which boosts the cellular energy from the mitochondria. So that's actually another thing that you can do. So there's so many things you can do for anti-aging. But like I said, number one, get healthy to begin with.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Avoid PPFs.
Yes.
Yep.
Packaged processed foods.
Yep.
Yes.
It's the biggest thing.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Need to enjoy to avoid those. And as we've always mentioned, shop the perimeter
of the grocery store.
That's where all the good stuff is. Your vegetables and all your fresh items and everything.
And no matter what book you actually read about aging and skin health and wrinkles, they all say eat an anti-inflammatory diet.
Right.
And anti-inflammatory diets get rid of packaged processed foods. They get rid of sugar. They get rid of definitely your high carbohydrates and starches, and they do more of real food, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some lean meat, and real food.
Is it important to keep some carbs in your diet?
Well, if you do fruits and vegetables, you're keeping carbs.
You're getting carbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's carbs. Both fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. So that's not a no carbohydrate diet.
Yeah.
That is actually just more of a healthy carbohydrate diet.
Yeah, because you need
And
the
if you are going
fibers
to
and
do
so on.
bread, make your own,
Yes.
which most people don't. When you get it in the grocery store and it's had preservatives that will stay on a shelf for 2 to 3 months, there's something wrong with that. Because when I do make my einkorn bread, it lasts about 3 days.
Wow.
Yep. So it tells you how many chemicals and preservatives are in things that are processed.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on this morning's show. Next week is first Monday of the month, so we'll have Open Line Monday. So you can call in any questions that you have regarding any kind of health issues. Also, some great information on doctorsnutrition.com, Facebook, and now on YouTube.
Yes.
So have yourself a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday morning.
For more information on how you can advertise your business on Shop South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.